Today I'm working on the Granada. We're going to be changing out the idler arm. I'm having some shaking while I drive highway speeds. And it's because this bushing is completely dry rotted and wallered out. Along with this one right here, I've got a lot of play in this one. Which all I've done so far is take the cast on that off and what was left of the cotter pin. This thing's seen better days. Now up top I'll be able to show you. You've got two bolts right here. And it's a pretty simple task as long as you have a puller. This one's a Pitman arm puller. I have found that the tie rod end puller that's smaller, I have one of them too. But yeah, the tie rod end puller doesn't seem to work. It's a little too small to slip over it. The new idler arm I got it from Rock Auto. Got a really good deal on it. It was only like $15. I am missing a zert fitting. I'm gonna have to go get one at the hardware store. This one is greasable, unlike the factory one, so that's nice as well. But this ought to take my front end play out of it. And these bolts will spin. You have to put a wrench on this end. This end's a 5/8. See the nut size on the other side. These are an 11/16. Well, it's pretty straightforward. Let's get these nuts off of here. Alright, one down. Wasn't hard. Now I am using a breaker bar to get them loose because they can be kind of tough. And make sure you have a deep well set before you start because you're going to need one. An 11/16. Alright, second one down. Alright, this idler arm is now free from the frame. I could probably wiggle it off there by hand, but I'm going to use my tool. Alright, that fits on there like so. Make sure you line this up directly in the center. You don't want to mess your threads up on the center link. Then you got to replace the entire center link. Just pulling it right out of there. Alright, try to show this on camera. I had a lot of play in here. And that bushing has had it. Okay, so now this sleeve is stuck on there from the last bushing. So I'm going to have to get it off of there. That sleeve should have stayed in here. Hopefully y'all's won't have the inner bushing sleeve freeze up and stay on there, but in my case it did, so let's deal with it. Alright, so I've tried a pipe wrench, I've tried some vice grips, I tried to, pry it apart with a flathead screwdriver. I'm just not having any luck, so I'm going to very carefully grind into that. Now I got the nut on there to make sure I don't mess the threads up, and I'm just going to take my time. Alright, and that worked just like I wanted it to. I didn't grind into the actual center link. Alright. And all I did was take enough material off of that to make it to where I could open it up easier and get it off of there. Didn't hurt the center link whatsoever. So let's get on with it. Yeah, life would have been a little easier if this sleeve would have stayed in there. Or at least come off. It's pretty rusty and pitted a little bit. I'm going to take some fine sandpaper and clean that up. But you always be real careful of these threads. Alright, I'll probably start by sticking these bolts back through there. Alright, with a little bit of wiggling around, we got it in there. Now I found it's easier to get it all to line up when you stick the center link in there first and then bring this up over to your bolts. Alright, got our nuts on there. Let's tighten them down. Alright, got them good and tight. Now let's put this back on there, castle nut. There's also a washer. Alright, so I gotta go down to the hardware store and get a new cotter pin, but for now, I'll put the old one back in there. Alright, now it's time to grease this thing. Which I found this dirt fitting I had laying around. It's a little long, but this will be fine. It's not gonna hit anything. I just need to get some grease in there. Alright, greased up, good to go. And that cotter pin's only temporary. I'm gonna go get another one. Oh, it feels good. Let's go test drive this thing. She drives good. Well, I'd say that's fixed. Alright. Job well done. That definitely seems to have fixed my issue. And that's how you do an idler arm on a 79 Ford Granada. Subscribe if you like old Fords. I have a few of them.